This is Kyle, the best tag player on the planet. And while I'm doing this ad read, if he tags these people, he gets the $1,000 they have. But if he doesn't tag them before the end of the ad read, they get a...
Which countries have the most YouTube play buttons? Will the UK have 9,400?
try something. I'll try something. Never tried multi-instance on this thing though. Yeah, it's crazy. So boring. So boring. Yeah. I've not used this thing in a while. Dang. It's so slow. Bruh. Nah, I haven't used that in a long time. At least they have this little encoder thing that is so cool. Oh wait, it doesn't have the HVEC option for some reason. That doesn't make any sense at all. It's because my GPU just isn't that good. Now my GPU is probably ass. I've not done something like that in a long time. Shit, we'll test it again. It looks more smooth on there. What does it fucking looks more smooth on there? I think. But the thing is, I don't think it supports multi-instance unless I pay. Wait, when I do this, they don't have like a sensitivity snapping. I don't think they do. No, they really don't. That's the problem. Sensitivity thing. Profile high. Oh, me, because I didn't try profile high. Is that why? I need to try profile high. Maybe. That could be why. Could be why it's lagging. Nope. Nope. Just... Nope, no difference. No improvement. Ah, no. Oh, that might be it. Oh, that might be it. Oh, shit.
Let's go.
In today's video, I'm going to show you how my stream went from looking like this to looking like this. My stream went from looking like this to looking like this without making any upgrades to my PC. Let's talk about it. When streaming video games, it wasn't until recently that I go to display settings. If you haven't adjusted this before, that your computer is going to be on balanced, which it says is recommended. Well, the next thing, when you click on that, that's where you want to make sure that this is checked. Check it, run as administrator. If you realize that at least one of those settings wasn't already optimized on your PC, you're already going to notice a big difference on your stream. Now, this isn't a full video on the best Streamlabs OBS difference on your stream. Now, this isn't a full output after, of course, we click on it. And you're going to want to make sure that output mode is on. 99% of the time, you're going to want to run hardware, NVNC, new. Now, there are some things I've read where some of the 30 series cards can have a little bit of a conflict. I'm sure this is going to be a temporary thing. I didn't notice anything with my 3070 on my newer PC, but you could play just fine. Is where you'll need to go above computer over 700. But 35 default. I've read a recording. Sometimes it can go too high or it can go too low, and so I've read a lot of stuff where they then you stream and I go at 2. I got to reserve stuff. No, I'm gonna go default ones I had on here. You can do. I mean, you can see down here. Look, but the other thing that you're going to look or not, you're almost always is. But so actually going having 20 EVE there, they're as slightly amended one. If you are on a
Streaming has never been easier. Anyone can do it, but not many people can do it right. Laggy footage, blurry footage, or maybe your game just looks like wet hot garbage. Today, we're going to show you all the settings to make your quality amazing, crisp, and clear. Both your game, your mic, your webcam, all of it in OBS or Streamlabs on any platform you choose to use. But more importantly, I'll show you how to diagnose your specific problems using the magical stats panel. No more Googling furiously trying random advice from random people. One look at this panel and you'll instantly know what to fix. We'll also cover how to run test streams without actually going live so you don't bother your audience. And most importantly, I will show you how to turn off dynamic bitrate, because it is the worst. And I mean worst setting in the world. All of that and more is coming up, but first, thank you to our sponsor, Owned. Owned have officially done something amazing. They've created an entire scene editor and integrated it for free. Like you have, and then I can show you where and what the best settings are for streaming on Twitch or YouTube. Today I'm doing most of this inside OBS, because if you're having issues with lag and you aren't using OBS, well yes. And I've found often increase your CPU usage by a minimum of 8% just by being open. So get OBS from the link in the description and boom, you've already saved a chunk of resources. So there are 3 very common all types of lag, just dropped frames. So let's start current FPS, which are all helpful and the frames keep leaking out of the holes. If you have dropped frames, then to fix it, you'll want to adjust your bitrate to match your stream settings or your upload speed. Try a more stable connection, such as Ethernet, or turn off a setting called dynamic bitrate, which again is literally the worst setting in the world. And yes, I'll show you where that is in a second. Next is lagged frames. These are seen here, and these are caused by high GPU usage, which means to solve these, you need to free up room on your GPU by lowering your game settings, such as resolution, frame rate, or potentially lowering your webcam resolution in OBS from 1080p to 720p. Also, you can generally lower your stream resolution, general video settings, or other encoding settings as well. You could try closing. This can be fixed by lowering your resolution, your general video settings, other encoding settings.
The CEO Jordan threw out a message on Rooster Teeth's website, and they basically said,
and trying to close other software that might be taking up CPU resources. Or, if possible, you can switch to NVENC or AMD encoding to utilize your GPU to encode instead of your CPU. Now, if you're a streamer lagged or skipped frames, it will tell you after the problem has occurred. Personally, if I ever have an issue while streaming, I check these for doing this to me. So instead, I'm gonna make this simple for beginners, while also trying to make sure you don't leave this video with no idea what to change if something goes wrong. If you understand what you're changing and why, you'll be far more likely to get better stream quality. So head to settings, click video, and first things first, we're going to pick a resolution. Now personally, I stream
they basically said that, hey,
1920 by 1080p on both my base canvas and my output. The difference between these two settings is essentially base canvas is your preview window size inside OBS or Streamlabs, and the output panel and task manager, you can come back here and drop the output to be set to 25 or 50 depending on where you're sending the footage. I'm in Australia and still use 30 to 60 because it doesn't matter most of the time anymore, as it's all going to YouTube streams or Twitch streams. With that, we're moving on to our output. Personally, so if we're doing this in the simplest form, let's start with bitrate. This will determine most of your stream's quality. There is a link in
service all their videos to their subscribing members through their own page, and then get the largest cut of it, which is was really smart. And they always said that they even thought YouTube was like their competitor, which is a mindset that nobody has nowadays. They're just like, oh, we have to do YouTube. Back in the day, they were doing stuff before YouTube, which is crazy to think about. But eventually, they switched, right? They sold. We'll talk about that in just a moment. I think they did some things that might be wrong, but it's not exactly like this death of Rooster Teeth was a surprise. You know, I think it's been pretty obvious. I do a daily check in how to take
in the description to an article by Twitch and another by YouTube to show you bitrate settings for different resolutions. Personally, if you're doing a fast action gameplay, on Twitch, I recommend 720p output and between 4500 to 6000 bitrate. If the gameplay is slower and lacks a lot of movement, then 1080p and 6000 bitrate will work just as well. Twitch bitrate is technically soft capped at 6000 and hard capped at 8000. 1000 bits is 1 megabit, so you need an upload speed that can handle the bitrate you set plus wiggle room. So for 6000 bitrate, around 10 to 12 megabits to stream at the soft cap safely. If you're not sure what your upload speed is, go to speedtest.net, linked in the description, and click test. As long as this comes up saying you have 10 to 12 steady, you should be okay. For a YouTube stream, you're going to want a much higher bitrate than Twitch, both because YouTube has better technology behind it, so you'll have better quality, but also because it transcodes every stream. This means you'll need a higher bitrate to make it look nice. But this is a good thing because your viewers can watch at lower resolutions no matter what size of it look nice. But this is good thing because your viewers can watch at lower resolutions no matter what size of a creator you are. Twitch will only let big creators have transcoding, whereas YouTube gives it to everyone. For 1080p 60 frames per second, I'd recommend 12,000 bitrate, and 720p 60 FPS, I'd recommend 7,000 to 8,000 bitrate. But again, your own internet speed and stability will control all this, so keep an eye on dropped frames and use the fact sheets in the description by focusing just on 3: NVENC H.264, X.264, and AV1. To make this straightforward, if you're using any NVIDIA card past the GTX 600, which was released in 2012, so likely any NVIDIA card being used on a semi-new PC, you're going to deep dive. Now, if you're using an AMD or GPU, and lower it until you see to see if it's too intense. So pick those if you testing if you want to deep dive. Now, if you're using an AMD card instead of an NVIDIA card, there will be AMD encoders here instead of NVIDIA, obviously. So pick those if you want to encode on your AMD GPU. Encoder preset is below this. If your PC can handle it, you can set this to be best quality. And
Your top speed was 120. I think I locked in at 121 or 122.
and then use the stats panel to see if it's too intense for your CPU or GPU, and lower it until you see the issues resolved. That is all the simple settings done, but we need to turn off the dreaded dynamic bitrate, the worst setting in the world, so stick around still while I quickly cover some other advanced settings for you. If you decide to use advanced settings because you're an overconfident fool, a lot of this will look exactly the same as simple and work exactly the same as well. The key difference to note here is that you'll be given access to a different rate control setting. But as a streamer, you have to leave this on CBR because Twitch doesn't play nice with other rate controllers. The other difference is it gives you access to the Twitch VOD track, which despite what you think doesn't protect you from copyright strikes, and it just overcomplicates things, so don't use it. The two articles I linked about bitrate in the description actually cover the advanced settings recommended as well. But I hope most of you will stick to simple, especially if you're struggling with lag. So before I show you how to turn off dynamic bitrate, let's quickly show you how to run a test stream through Twitch or YouTube, and how to test and select which Twitch server is the best for you, because this is actually something you can manually pick. First, to run a test stream on Twitch, it is pretty simple. Open OBS, go to settings, go to stream, and click enable bandwidth test mode, click apply, and then go live as normal. Open up a game, chat, talk, test alerts, do everything that you would do in a normal stream, but make sure you keep the stats panel open and also your task manager open. Make sure you're paying attention to both of these. None of what you're doing right now is going out to your viewers. It's being intercepted by Twitch and simply used as a test. If you're streaming to YouTube, you'll need to make a scheduled stream. Obviously, we've already covered that in several videos. So you make it and then set it to unlisted. This lets you not only test your stream and look at the stats panel like Twitch does, but also gives you an unlisted stream VOD on YouTube so you can review the quality later. Now, if you fault, or in my case, I spent 6 months struggling with internet issues because my neighborhood had a massive fault. No one else noticed it except for the guy trying to upload 6,000 to 10,000 bit rates a second steady. This next tool literally let me diagnose it before my ISP could. It's called Twitch Test, and it lets you test all the servers near you easily. I'll link it in the description. You can go there, download it, and it lets you test all the servers near you easily. I'll link it in the description. You can go there, settings, stream, and copy the primary key. Paste this in here, and do not share this with anyone at all. If you give this to someone, they can stream to your channel. Over on the right, click test duration. I like to set this to medium because I'm impatient, but some smarter friends use long. This is how long the tool tests each server. Usually 30 to 60 seconds of testing is enough to tell you if there are issues. Next, select your region, either manually by clicking these boxes or use the quick select. I'm Australian, so I say other. Now click run, and it will begin testing, so wait patiently. When the results are in, you want a maxed out bandwidth of 10,000 plus. You'll want the shortest RTT or round trip time and the best quality, which maxes out at 100. Once you know that, you'll go to OBS, open settings, click the stream, click the server, and rather than automatic, select the specific server that was best for you in Twitch Test. I want to shout out Nutty. I'm pretty sure I learned about this tool from him 4 years ago now, so credit to him. With all of this done, congratulations, you can not only diagnose your lag thanks to the stats panel and test streams, but you'll also be able to adjust your settings, your game, and more to help solve the problem you're dealing with. But for the love of God, whatever you do, make sure you go to settings, advanced, scroll to network, and finally turn off dynamic bitrate. This tool is meant to detect when your internet connection is limited and automatically reduce your bitrate to compensate rather than
The same width as the table that we work on, which is a little bit wider than 2 feet. The order was officially
dropping frames. The network, and finally turn off dynamic bitrate. This tool is meant to detect when your internet connection is limited and automatically reduce your bitrate to compensate rather than dropping frames. The issue is, it doesn't fucking work. Any tiny spike will cause this to activate and tank your quality. I've alt-tabbed into and out of games, and for some reason it has tanked my bitrate down to nothing. And then it just causes a cascading series of issues, constantly recognizing itself as an internet issue and taking itself further and repeat.
And comment if you remember seeing this video or if you have guessed as to what YouTubers I'm talking about. About 6 years ago, we got a call asking if we could make a giant lollipop. Eventually, my dad let them know that the biggest lollipop we could make would have to be the same width as the table that we work on.
If you would like to stream or record using a low-end PC put box, definitely recommend checking the confirmation dialog boxes just in case you don't accidentally start or stop your stream, or you're just going to log in on what you stream on, whatever platform you want to stream under here. So just click on the bottom. Under audio track, I would just leave that at 1. For the audio encoder, you're just going to leave it as the FFmpeg AAC. Under the video encoder, this varies by everyone, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to leave it as X264, which is streaming off your CPU. I would not rescale your output, as that would take more usage from your computer. Under the encoder settings, I would leave the rate control as CBR. Now under bitrate, this really varies off your internet connection. You typically want to stream around 4,000 to 5,000 kilobits per second, but I would only recommend typically want to stream around 4,000 to 5,000 kilobits per second, but I would only recommend doing that if you have a higher speed connection. But if you have a slower internet speed, I would leave it around 2,500 to 3,000. For the keyframe interval, I would set that to 2. For the CPU usage, I would try to leave it as very fast, just to help improve the quality of. For the CPU usage, I would try to leave it as very fast, just to help improve the quality of your stream. But if your computer cannot handle it, just switch it to the ultra fast. Under profile, I would click on main, and then under tune, I would just click on 0 latency. And then you're just going to click on apply, and then we're going to move on to recording. Under recording, I would just leave it as standard. For the record interval, I would change that to 2. The CPU usage, I would keep it as very fast. Right, and then I wouldn't change anything to the microphone that you want to use. So for me, it's going to be the Focusrite, and then I wouldn't change anything else under here. So you're just going to click on apply, and we're going to move on. For the base resolution, I would just leave it as 1080p, but for the output resolution, I would change it to 1080p, because if you try to downscale your video, that will use more of your computer. So I would just leave everything at 1080p. And then for the common FPS value, I would just set that to 30, and then you're just going to click on apply. If you would like any hotkeys, you would just set that up here, but for this video, I'm not really going to be doing that. And video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe down below.
Hey, YouTube still has not even fixed that. They never fixed it. Why only 12 hours? Why can't they go longer than that? That's the fucking problem. Why have they never fixed that? Why have they never increased it? Why did they never even increase this at all? Just fucking why? That's why Twitch is better, because I can stream longer. And then my stream can still be archived. Nah, this show's back in 2019. Oh shit. I'm gonna have to restart both of them. Alright. Just gotta press it a little bit. Bye guys, yes.